You know your birth date is not a coincidence? In the Bible, each month has a unique meaning, and it can reveal the purpose that God designed for your life. Let's talk about those born in January. January is the month of beginnings. Being born in this month means you carry the gift of leadership and initiative. In Genesis 1:1, it says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." If you were born in January, God gave you strength to open new paths, to guide people, and bring light where there is darkness. But this mission also brings challenges. Those born in January go through trials that shape their character and prepare them for something greater. Now, if your birthday is on January 6th, that carries something even more special. It's the day of Epiphany, when the wise men, guided by a star, found Jesus. Matthew 2:2 says, "We saw his star in the east and have come to worship him." If you were born on this day, you have a gift of discernment. You're able to see signs from God where others only see confusion. Comment your birth month below. And if you were born in January, write, "I carry the light of beginnings."
Now you may ask, why do I find that video to be hilarious? I find that video to be hilarious because of the stupidity of people and how sheeple people can be. Because when you look at the context, the comments in that video, you see people commenting their birthday, and people are like, "Oh yes, I was born on January 6th, and I have that discernment." And people talking about how, "Oh yes, the new beginnings, and I'm a January baby, and I've seen that in my life," and all this kind of stuff, right? If you make something seem relative to a person, you can easily sway them into believing what you are talking about. So he said January is a new beginning. I guess what the people are missing is the fact that they don't recognize that January became the new year when Julius Caesar started his new calendar to begin in January, the Julian calendar. That's when we started having New Year in January. Because he wanted a new calendar and he added 2 months to it because, back in those times, they was really trying to figure out how to keep the seasons within the same few months so that things can be done at a scheduled time frame. And so he realized he needed to add 2 months to the calendar. July and August were added to the calendar. That's why your numbering is off with September, October, November, December. That's why the numbers don't match. October 8. October means 8. It's the 10th month. See what I'm saying? So they added. Now January. It just happens to be the time frame that he began his new calendar. The new year prior to that, and in most civilizations, even at that time frame, most civilizations, even the Jewish people, the Hebrew people of that day in 1st, 2nd century BCE, their calendars were still matching with the Babylonian and the Persian calendars, which meant that the new year started somewhere around the end of modern day, end of March, early April, because it was based on spring, when new life is born. There's no beginnings in the middle of January. January is the middle of the dead. January, February are some of the most struggling times during agricultural society's life cycle, because that is when the food supply has to make sure we have enough to last through the winter. You're in the dead of winter. And January 6th, at first, I thought they was about to say something about, you know what January 6th I'm talking about. But January 6th happened to be a date that early Christians believed that Jesus was born. And then it got switched to the time frame of the wise. Actually, no, just when Jesus was born. I've never even heard of that. That was the day that the wise men showed up. That was an early rendition of when Christians used to, in early 1st century, not early, but in late 1st century, 2nd century, 3rd century, that they were celebrating on January 6th. Now, there was a later thing. Yes, I do remember. There was a later tradition where his birthday was the 25th, but the wise man showed up on the January 6th. There was that part. I forgot about that. And that was short-lived. But this idea shows how gullible people, not just say Christians, but people can be. That they won't critically think through anything because you've grown up where January 1st is New Year's, and the majority of the world today celebrate January 1st as the new year, that you think that that's how it's always been, that you don't critically think through the fact that how can the new year start in the dead of winter when that's not the birth of new things? Really? Are y'all that gullible? But hey, you believe in talking snakes, talking donkeys. You think that angels are coming down and needing to eat and destroying cities and all this sort of thing, having sex with women and creating giants. So if you believe that shit, you might as well believe this shit too. So y'all have a great day. And always remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.